Hi class, this is Russ. So this will be the fourth installment of an example on how to potentially use a graphical user interface for your critical thinking assignment number two. And in this case, we're interested in defending against spurious input. So for instance, as I alluded to in the third video of this sequence, when we run our program and say I put in dog, for instance, as the amount to deposit, well, that's a ridiculous number to add to the account balance, and as we showed, you get a whole bunch of error messages. So how do we guard against this? So um, one thing we can do is if we go to our application, our design, and let's make some modifications to our status box. Okay, so basically the status box will be a container that will trap any kind of events like that, unintended usages of the program. So what I'll need is basically what text box, text area to hold that hold the accepted messages, exceptions that is. So I'll put that here, and uh, so I will set the I'll call this text status. And let's see, what can we do here? Can we set the background so I can see it better? Let's set the background to say some sort of blue color, I guess. And then we'll use white font. So foreground we'll set to white. Okay. So here's our, and then what you want to do is you want to take this particular object right here, the scroll status, and you want to drag it across across um, the text status so that it would include. Well, actually, we don't need to do that. We just need to align the scroll pane with the text, and we need to relate the scroll status bar with the text status bar. So there's this uh, Stack Overflow note that says, okay, you declare your text status, um, and then you assign that to the scroll pane. So let's see if we can do that. I'll show you how. So in our text status, we don't want it to be editable. Okay, so we don't want people typing stuff in there. And then if we go back to our code, um, we want to take our scroll status bar, our scroll bar basically, and we want to assign it, we want to move it after the text status. Okay, change the order of processing. And then using the Stack Overflow note, what we'll do is we will put the JText area into the constructor for the scroll pane like this. So right here, here's the constructor for the scroll bar, and then we want to put in text status so that when text status accumulates text, the scrolling action will be associated with this text box. All right, so now what we want to do is we go to our um, let's start off with our deposit method first. So here we get the deposit amount. So what we want to do is we want to put this, when we read the deposit amount from the deposit text box, or the text amount box, we want to put that in a try block. Okay, and so if we're unable to parse the text into the form of a valid double, then we want to throw an exception. So we'll go catch exception E. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to go um, this dot text. Do we have access to it? Probably not. Okay, so we want to go text status dot. Does it not recognize it? Okay, it may not recognize it because oh, did I misspell it? I probably misspelled it. No, I didn't misspell it. Okay, what we'll have to do in this case is since um, the execution is dependent on where it occurs in the ordering in which it occurs in the main, we'll have to take our deposit action, okay, and we'll have to copy it past I'll copy it, and we'll have to put it past the JText area of the scrolling, okay, and so that it knows, the JVM knows, Java Virtual Machine knows that the event for the deposit knows that the text status has already been allocated. So going back to our exception, it should realize now text status dot set text set text, okay, and then we'll just put all of our exception content here, e dot toString, e dot get message. How about that? Okay, and so let's see what happens if in fact this works. So let's give this a go. Oops, there was an error. Oh, I need to initialize deposit, right? So we'll say double 0. So we'll initialize deposit to 0. Okay, so that'll take care of the initialization requirement. Okay. All right, so if I put, oh, my text box isn't big enough, so I need to go back and modify that. So let's see what the deal is here. Yeah, I need to go here. What's going on here? Control Z. Control Z. Need to make it wider, don't I? So we can see it. Okay, so there we go. So now it's set. When I put the text status into the constructor for the scroll bar, the scroll pane, it modified the design of the element. So I had to go back in and adjust it. Okay, so let's try it now. All right, let's test the spurious input for the deposit button. All right, so if I put in dog, for instance, and I hit deposit, and note that the text status was loaded with the event message. So let's see if we can put in more content. Let's put in more information. So for the error, so what I can do is I can do text status dot, is there an append text? Yeah, append e dot what, toString. Let's go ahead and put that. And perhaps we should use a new line. Something like this. Okay, let's see if we get meaningful content here. So you have to iterate back and forth to adjust the error messages. So dog. Okay, and so now you can see that the status bar is scrolling with a lot of text. So let's make it a little bit bigger, a little more user. Let's make this a little bit larger so we can see more text. And can we set the font size? I'm wondering if we can. For our text, let's see, for our text status, is there a font? Yeah, let's use a smaller font. So right now it's set at 13. Let's put an 8-point style, or maybe a 7. Okay, so we can read the text better. So you can play around with this. It's interesting to play around with. Okay, so dog. Oh, that's too small. It's too hard to read, right? So let's adjust the font to, say, an 8-point style. Okay, and let's try it again. Let's try car. Still a little bit hard to read. Maybe let's go to 10-point style. Okay, I'm just toying with the font properties of the dialog of the status box. Car. There we go. Okay, so now still, I'm trying to get the font size large enough so we can sense the scrolling action. Put it back at 12. Test the actions of the scrolling. Okay, so cat. Okay, there we go. So it's not scrolling. Oh, because it's wrapping. Okay, so notice that the message is wrapping. So what we need to do is see if there's a wrap style. Let's put in a wrap style. And so that way the text will wrap. Instead of going off the end of the box, we'll wrap the text so that the text is confined to within the viewable area of the status box. So you can see a lot of thought has to be put into the program management, defending against errors. And there we go. So it didn't wrap. Wrap style. So maybe, oh, I need line wrap. So we need to put a line wrap in. So right here. So let's try it. So cat. There we go. Yeah. So now you see that the message is wrap for input string. It doesn't overflow the right here, and then you can just scroll through that. All right. So for input string cat, number format exception happen. Okay. For input string cat. All right. So number 4. And so now you don't see those annoying messages. We trapped them and handled them. Okay, so that's error control. Basically, we redirected the Eclipse error console output to our program output. And so hopefully the user of the program can look at the status and say, oh yeah, made a mistake in the input, go back and retry. And so now we need to do the same with withdraw, the withdraw button. So again, the withdraw button code has to be placed after the text status code because the order of processing, you have to recognize the text status before you can use it in the withdrawal method, event handler that is. So I'll control this, delete this. Okay, and then we'll just put it after the deposit event handler right here. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Okay, and then we'll put our try catch block. Copy our try catch block here. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to initialize our withdrawal. Okay, and then after the get text, if it's not a valid double, then we need to say, oh wait, we need to put our withdrawal statement in the try, right? So we'll put that here, and we'll remove this statement because it's now in a try block, and then we'll have the message if it's a bad withdrawal. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and run the program and see how it works. So if I put in car and then withdraw, and then you'll see the number format exception. Okay, all right. So we can erase this and we can put in $100 withdraw. Okay, and then deposit, deposit, withdraw, withdraw, deposit. So let's see. What happens if we attempt to put in a bad number, say a number like this? Okay, it actually handles it since it's a double. Okay, so that works. All right. Okay, so some thoughts. You don't now bear in mind you don't have to do your program this way, but you can see that how we were able to develop our graphical user interface around our class from Module 1 without having to modify too many details of the classes from Module 1. So again, if you have any questions about this exercise, about the methods I used, feel free to post in the discussion to module. Thank you.